All right, everybody. This is Brian Two's channel. In fact, let me shoot that there. Anyway, I've watched his a couple of his videos over the past few months and days so far of what's been happening, and it's been his torturism has been relentless. Every now he does travel a lot around the world just to get away from this stuff, but I couldn't help but notice everywhere he goes, right? Everywhere he goes, it's always somewhere within a city in a system where these cell towers and stuff is at. It's always somewhere within a city where these cell towers are at. Now, I tried actually leaving my apartment once and actually spending the night elsewhere. This is when I went over to my some relatives' place to basically spend the night. So what happened was it was a huge psyop operation that happened during that time. That's when started to realize my family was involved, but the attacks happened there too. It didn't happen right away. They were basically installing the system somewhere out there using the local cell tower to do it. So anywhere in a city, they're gonna utilize the technology there to attack you. As I mentioned before, you can use an infrared camera to actually capture this stuff. Mind you, you got to be. It's not something that's gonna immediately show up. You got to be patient and just watch out for it. Just get an infrared camera or whatever, and then have it on standby recording mode. If you do that, you're most likely guaranteed to at least catch it. But also, I think it has something to do with the lighting too. It's got to be adjusted. You got to really adjust the lighting somewhat in order to really be able to see this stuff. As far as how that goes, it just depends. Once you figure it out, then you got it. But his Brian Two's current situation, everywhere he's been going, he's been attacked relentlessly with these weapons. When he's been trying to seek out help, they've been attacking those sources too. He seeks out asylum. Not basically the asylum, but they basically try to really screw with that too a lot. And I mean a lot. Like it's just excuse to prevent him from getting in there after another, one after another, after another, after another, every single month, every single day, every single week. And it's been going on for over a damn year. Over a fucking year. And it's the same stuff, man. It's the same thing. He's just been railroaded left and right. And this is not a coincidence. It's not. This shit is just premeditated before he even arrives at his destination. When he's going through his phone to basically make his destination, they see that, so they basically are getting there ahead of him to fuck with that as best they can. Why? It's to basically psychologically harass a targeted individual. Now, I don't know where. I think he got this video that's gonna play at the beginning of this, maybe from CSI channel. I mean, a CSI show or something like that. I'm not really too familiar with the names of those channels, not channels, but shows. But it really shows a definite definition on how street theater actually is. It gives you exactly what it looks like, how they do it, and what to pay attention to. It's gonna seem like random shit. It's gonna seem like random stuff that you see different people doing, but all these people who are doing it are all interconnected through a single agent who's most likely got some credentials of law enforcement of any kind, possibly maybe police, or possibly most likely even FBI. It'd be one or the other. But these punks who do this stuff, they usually are either just random corrupt citizens or gang related citizens. It's one or the other. This whole thing is a targeting program, which basically is the investment program for human trafficking. That's what this is. They traffic TIs for the sole purpose of experimentation and to fulfill their sick satanic desires. And they get off from people being tortured. They get off from people suffering. They get off from this shit. They pay to see people go through this, man. This is where the Shadowgate connects into that, because the Shadowgate is the one is the program that's actually picking people out to be targeted, man. That's where that lies in. I don't think that you would stand much of a chance really detoxing yourself and then getting this weapon grade systems out of, just literally just immediately cutting yourself off from the weapon grade systems out in the middle of the city. Because the problem is these perps will use the public to blend in. They will use them to blend in, and you wouldn't even know who was who unless they make it apparent and make it obvious. That's the only time you would ever know. The only time. And unfortunately, the only person who would actually be aware of this is the person who's being harassed by the street theater. That's the only person who would know. Any bystander would not see that as unusual behavior because it's meant to be a type of transparent harassment. Meaning it's transparent to the public, but it's not transparent to you because you're the victim of it. They've been doing this to you every fucking day. Every time you go out, it's the same thing. Makes you wonder, why do they always do that when you go out? And I believe the reason why they keep harassing you when you go out is because they don't want you going out. They don't want you to be a moving target. They don't want you going, just living your life normally. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to go out there like that, man. They want you to be enslaved, encased in an apartment. Why? So they can continue to monitor you 24/7. That's how obsessive they are when it comes to TIs, man. That's just how obsessive they are when it comes to this. But I'm not going to ramble on too much here. Everybody, please give out your prayers to Brian, too, though, because he is going through a really, really rough time.
We're coming for you. What did you say?
When was the last time you saw a case of group stalking?
I've only had 2 in the 4 years I've been working here. It's rare. Less than 1% of all documented stalking cases nationwide.
Seems like a strange way to get someone's attention.
Yeah, this particular tactic is called street theater. It's commonly used in gangs and other groups to terrorize their victims out in the open. The ones who act out the violence are the foot soldiers, usually taking orders from an authority figure.
Can't even lay down in peace. And they're actually going at him right there, even as he lays down. People, this harassment thing is quite serious that they do. And people who are fighting for peace, people who are actually trying to, fight to end this whole tyranny of...
You see, this is a distraction. This is a decoy meant to distract the attention of the targeted individual. You see that? That's what they're doing.
This whole thing, you see, like the Antifa, the BLM, all this tyrannism that they're doing out in the open. Who do you think is, the main people?
So he's called me all kinds of names. I've had to call the police. It's just ridiculous.
Let me pause it because that's actually gonna, I'm gonna still play it, but I need to finish what I was about to say. When you see those people doing, and you heard about all that's been happening with the whole BLM, the Antifa and stuff like that, and all these other major different things. Also, be mindful of this other thing, that whole blue line on the flag. You may want to pay attention to that because there's an actual hidden meaning on that damn flag for that symbolism that you don't know. There's been, people who did find out what that hidden meaning was, and they were kind enough to spread the awareness out. But I'm telling you, there's a sinister meaning behind that damn flag. And what I mean is a flag that's all in black and white, except with the one blue line going through it. Be careful around people who are representing that damn flag. Okay, be careful. The people you see, such as the rioters, the BLM, the Antifa, all this stuff that you see going on, they are definitely involved with street theater. Okay, these people who do this, if you can even call them people anymore, they're not about freedom. They're about the whole communist agenda. And these are the people. They even have all these other people who are involved with this, who are not even going out immediately. They're just on standby. But at the same time, it's not just that. You're not just dealing with that. You understand, those are the people who most likely will infiltrate your group when it comes to the peacefulness. When you basically do try to set things right, do the best you can. If you ever try to have a peaceful protest, they will. Those are the people who will definitely infiltrate your groups. They'll definitely try to basically set stuff up because they're paid to do that. But at the same time this is happening, you need to understand this. People, the food that you're eating, you need to be careful what you're eating. The stuff that you're drinking, you got to be careful about what you're drinking. The products you use to wash yourself, understand this one simple thing. The skin that you're in is basically an organ. Whatever you're placing out on your skin, that organ is absorbing that stuff, okay? So you may not, no one else probably never told you this, but there are very harmful chemicals in shampoo. There are very harmful chemicals in conditioner, any kind. Same thing with the bar soaps, the liquid soaps, all of that. All of that junk has some very harmful ingredients in there. The food and all this other stuff. A lot of these products have ingredients that have been intentionally placed in there to, enhance the effects of these DEW weapon systems. So when they want to basically beam you with directed energy, what do you think is acting as a magnet to that? It's the damn ingredients that you basically been ingesting. They heighten the effects. I know this because I tested it out. As I was detoxing, I drank a single can of tea that had high fructose corn syrup in it. Don't ever eat high fructose corn syrup because that's the worst ingredient you could ever put in your body. So this is something else that also deals with heightening the effects of directed energy weapons. If you are still eating at these fast food restaurants, even after with this bullshit that they pulled, trying to not have you, see what they're doing in the kitchen, you best. But look, man, as a TI, I can definitely testify and say this without 100% of a doubt. They hired them motherfuckers in those kitchens to fuck with your food. You can't trust these assholes. Don't go to no damn McDonald's. Don't go to no Wendy's. Don't go to no Burger King, because these pricks are going to fuck with your food. And they're not going to care one bit about it. The only thing that's going to be going through their mind is, at least it's not happening to me. That's it. That's it. And you best believe that they do go as far as they're told. They put glass in that man's food. Brian, too, he went to a restaurant. They put glass in it. In his food. Now, that's attempted murder. That's a big problem there. So there is no coincidence that it's not just an accident that someone just put fucking glass in someone's. No, that shit's intentional. That's intentional. So why would they be intending to kill this man? Why? Where's the motivation in that? Because people are being paid to do this shit and people are being controlled to do this shit. It's both. That's just what it is. You have people who are controlled due to the fact that they have, become so infected with the stuff that they're eating, the stuff that they're using, that they won't even know that they're being controlled. They will have no idea, man. They won't. Dude, with the whole stuff that they're spraying in the sky, everybody's breathing that. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you the cross-patternization of this and how this whole sinister plot works. You see that stuff spraying in the sky, right? That's filled with nano and aluminum particles, right? They put fluoride in your water filtration systems so that your body, when you take a bath, when you wash your child, when you wash, when your family washes themselves, it makes your body more capable of absorbing heavy metals. That's why they put fluoride in the water system. Now, along with him, you best believe that that water also contains heavy metals itself. Yes, that's right. Those pipes are metallic, right? Well, there you go. So that's the sinister plot behind that. It's to basically get you to have your skin, your body have more conductive matter in it, right? To have more conductive matter. So you got the metallic structure there. You got the nano there. Now what? Oh, that's right. The next thing is they invent the microwave, which basically radiates the hell out of your food, so that when you eat your food, right? When you go to eat that food, you already got the stuff that basically that literally sends the radiation for the whole process of the nano to basically make candida in your system. That's right. This shit does make candida. Now, if you put if you put the stuff that they're spraying out into the sky under high inductions of radiation, which also is what's infected with that nano, that's what helps the nano basically reconstruct itself. That's right. It does this. It can reassimilate itself in the body. It can reassimilate itself outside of the body. This is what they do. I found some researchers' content. I'm still looking for it, though. When I find it, it will be posted on this channel. I need to go back and see if I can find it. I don't even know if they even took the video down. They could have, because I caught them doing that before. But I definitely need to find that video, because the research she did was in 3 different states. And she showed video, literally evidence that this shit was growing stuff that they were spraying out in the sky. It was growing, man. This shit was growing on its own, reassimilating itself. This is the same junk that's getting in people's systems. So, when you stand in front of a microwave, it beams out radiation. Did you know your phone, does issue out a lot of radiation too? Did you know about Project Bluebeam? Did you know that Project Bluebeam was invented they wouldn't just put this shit in integrated phones. They didn't just put this in the phones. No, they put this in the car systems. This is where your light, where the light bulbs are at. Those blue hued fluorescent lights that they got in there. Those blue hue lights. When you see that, Bluebeam. When you see the blue hue on your phone and you don't use that blue light filter, Bluebeam. When you look at your television screen, Bluebeam. When you look at your laptop screen, Bluebeam. Now, why would they use the Bluebeam for anything, right? Simple. It's basically to use, and Tony was telling about this in his video. So if you want to see his channel, you can just check my Mischievous M's channel, the first one, and you'll see it there. He was mentioning what that does is it actually programs the nano in your system to basically go up from the kidneys all the way up to your skull to build this type of crown, which is known as the crown virus. This is where the crown virus comes from, and this shit loves the hell out of sugar. This is why high fructose corn syrup is a problem, because that's a factory-made type of sugar that does not dissolve fast. It literally dissolves. It takes a long time to get that stuff dissolved. It does, and it puts you in the state. You know how bears would normally stack up with food and they would feel tired, all drowsy looking, and they'd be ready to hibernate. That's what it does. That's what the high fructose corn syrup does. It is basically the nectar for the nano. That's what that shit is, man. And the other stuff that they put in these ingredients and stuff like that, some of these products contain nano itself, including all types of chocolate. Yeah. Just about 99.9% of cotton in the U.S. has nanotech fibers in it. All of it. People, this shit is even in the damn... Ladies, I am so sorry to tell you this, but it's even in the damn tampons. It is. This is just how sinister this shit is, man. It's really fucking bad. People, if you think that your newborn children are safe in the hospital, no. Hell no. Turns out They actually do, and I was really skeptical about this because of how how sinister the shit is, and I'm like, something, they're doing something to those newborn babies when they're born. They're doing something where because you notice how they always keep them in a separate room from the parent. You ever notice that? You ever notice they always keep the babies in a separate room when they're born from the parents? Why do you think that is? Why do you think they keep them in a separate room from the parents? Why? Some may say, oh, well, like it's just because, maybe when the baby's, crying, we don't want to, we don't want that baby to be disturbing the rest of the mother because it's, the procedure really wears them down. Dude, come on, bro. Think back. Do you think they did that shit in old times? Do you think they separated the child from the mother in olden times like that? You think they did that? Maybe on special circumstances? Maybe. Maybe like it was a raid going on and they had to, get away or whatever. And some people were too weak to maybe move. Something like that. Maybe just an unfortunate coincidence situation. Maybe. But do you really think that they were separating the babies from their mothers like that? Why do you really think about that? Why do they do that? Think about it. Remember, this same system that gives you the solution is also the same system that created the problem in the first place. So, let's continue watching the video. By the way, this man assaulted Brian too. This is why it's definitely dangerous to stay in a city because of how sinister this weapon grade system is. They could use this to take control of just about anybody. They can. And this is why it's important to get off the system because you're surrounded by frequencies when you're in the city. You're surrounded by radiation when you're in the city. All of this junk, man. All of this stuff is all around you, and unless you leave the city, you're not going to get away from it. But at the same time, that's easier said than done. They're not out now. They're trying to lock everything down so people won't leave. Why do you think they basically made the wall? The wall was made so people. It's not for people to get in. Is to keep people from leaving. That's why they made the wall. A lot of people don't know that. This wasn't about no terrorism bullshit. No, because the terrorists are the ones that are basically in control of the terrorist watch list. That's right. The terrorists are the ones who are basically controlling your police. The terrorists are the ones controlling the shadow gate. Because a lot of this shit goes a lot farther than you know. You notice a lot of the interpretation with a lot of the language when it comes to a lot of people within the U.S. You notice how a lot of black folks a lot of folks call themselves black when they're not really black. No one is black on this planet, dude. No one's black, or should I say, this sphere. No one is black. Okay, no one. You can't tell me someone's black. And, get yourself a piece of scratch paper that's black and put that up against your skin. Is that really your skin tone? It's not. It's not. It goes even farther than that. You look at the meaning behind, what the word black is, and you see that it means the absence of color. Why in the hell would anybody really go for that? And it shows you just how deceptive this shit is. Man, it's crazy because when they sit there and say that they're black and they're proud, they're basically sitting there saying that they're non-existent and they're proud. How fucked up is that, man? Seriously, how fucked up is that? And there's people who amongst them who know this shit to the fullest because they cannot unhear the shit that I'm talking about. They can't. All the evidence is there, and they still fucking support this shit. They still do. They still do. I don't want to ramble on too much, but I will leave this this little ramble on and in closing thing so I don't get too far off topic, even though I kind of did. But you got to understand, a lot of these groups you're seeing acting out like this, they are involved with the targeting program. They are. This also involves different street gangs. You name it. Just about every single one of them are involved. All of them. People. The street gangs are working with the police. The police is working with the FBI. The street gangs are working with the FBI. It's all a major fucking psyop that make you believe, to trick you and make you believe that this group is against that group is against this group, while at the same time behind your back, these motherfuckers are making deals, meeting up, plotting shit, all kinds of stuff. All to basically deceive you. All of it. All to deceive you. I'm willing to bet every fucking state gang stalking takes place, which means law enforcement within every state knows about this shit. Okay? There's no way around that. Every fucking state is involved with gang stalking. Every fucking police department is involved with gang stalking and knows gang stalking is taking place at some point in time and knows that it's happening. If all sorts of FBI knows about this too, but at the same time, there may be people in these factions who absolutely have no idea that it's taking place. There's a good chance of that because we have had instances of good cops, but good cops get punished in this country, and it's a damn shame that that's the case. But this just lets you know that the people who are in charge and the people who are making all these fucked up decisions are terrorists, man. They are literally domestic terrorists. They are the fucking. And I'm not trying to start a war. I'm not trying to start a hate mongering thing here. I'm just basically stating a fact. You start fucking with people's freedoms and stuff like that. You start basically. Once you start, protesting is one thing. Rioting is a whole nother scenario. But when you start making a list of demands and you're part of an actual entity, and you're part of an actual company, that is an act of terrorism, man. When you start really doing that, when they start really doing that shit, when they start basically collecting, demanding reparations from the public, when they start doing shit like that, you are no longer a citizen of the U.S. No, absolutely not. No. That's a fucking terrorist. And that's my message to the world, man. The freaking terrorists, the real terrorists, have invaded U.S. internally and seized control over certain factions in order to meet their end game goal. The energy companies are basically owned by satanic worshipers, satanic influencers. All of them. Every fucking energy company is basically owned by these bastards. Everyone within every state, within every country. Every one of them. I'm not finna ramble on anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and play the rest of the video. Everybody, please send your support to Brian too, because this stuff that people go through is real, and this is why us fellow TIs, it's much harder on us than anybody else. It is. Because they directly going after us, man. They really are. They are directly going after us with this bullshit. And it's nonstop.
Now he's grabbing my crutches. Now he's grabbing my crutches.
Eso es mentira. This is a lie. Hey, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Silo, government americano.
Así, gobierno americano. Sí, Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? No. Hey, it's a lie. It's a fucking montage. Are you fucking me? Do you want fucking me? Why? 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 I'm gonna say now. Why?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Take them.
Okay. What's the problem with me? What's the problem with me? What's the problem with the game? The game? No, the game. The life. It's the life. It's the red rash. No. It's a lie. Es mentira. Es mentira. Es mentira.
He's grabbing my phone.
Es mentira, hermano. Es mentira. Me quieres joder a mí. Es mentira, hermano. Es mentira.
You know, that actually happened to me when I got assaulted by these damn perps a while back, because I caught actual evidence of these people. The incident involved a total of around, I want to say 4, maybe 3 or 4 perps. Who in the hell sits in a car? These were 2. There were 2 cars, but the other one on the left hand side was empty. No one was in that car. There was a black car and there was a white car, right? Now, the white car, that the white, I guess it was like a sedan looking car, or maybe a Chevy, not an SUV, but like some sort of sedan type vehicle. So apparently, I'm seeing the cars turned on. It is. There's either 3 or 4 people in there. They got the fucking sun. You know that thing that they use to basically block the sun from getting in your car to heat up the leather seats and shit like that, or basically just to heat up the car in general. They they had that on their windshield, and then they ended up propping shit up against the windows on the side. Yeah, they did that. They did that to hide their identity. Apparently, they didn't want me to figure out who they were. But I don't. That seems very obvious, dude. That seems like very obvious. So I'm like, okay. Let me go and get those license plates down. They didn't change their plates with fake plates that day. They didn't. So when I get the actual license plates, that's when one of the perps actually exits the vehicle, and I'm recording him as he is doing this. People, he exits the vehicle. He goes over to the, in fact, actually, I think I may still have that device. Oh, yeah, I do still have that device. And guess what? At first, I didn't have what I needed to actually get the footage off of this thing, but I do now. I just need to be able to charge her up, and then I'll be able to take care of that. But, I can't believe I forgot about you. Man, that's definitely some footage I need to get off of there, and I'm glad that it's definitely still there. So apparently this guy gets out of the white car, he goes to the black car, he grabs a dark colored jacket like a hoodie or a sweatshirt, puts it over. People, this guy was trying to basically be more hidden because it was late. He didn't want to be spotted when he did this shit. Okay? So he walks over towards me as this is happening. Right? He does this. In fact, now that I think about it, I need to find that damn battery. I'm sorry for cutting off, but I'm just now realizing this. I got the equipment to actually get that damn footage off of there, and I'm gonna fucking use it. Because the problem was I didn't have exactly what I needed to get that done, but now I do. I swear, once I get that, I'm gonna upload the hell out of that. I am. Because that's what people really need to see. Because that video's still on there. It is. And let me tell you something. So apparently, the guy, after he puts the hoodie on, he's basically approaching me. Sitting there going like, look, man, I'm not gonna hit you. I'm not gonna hurt you. But I need you to delete, just delete the footage. Just delete the video. I did not delete that video. So what he does after that, right? What he does after that is he tries to reach for my phone. I didn't let him get it. And I said, "Nah, man, get the fuck away from me. You guys are stalkers." And he plays dumb. This guy's a perp. He plays dumb because he's a perp. Their whole actions are too fucking obvious. You just expose yourself. And you playing as if like you don't know what I'm talking. Of course you know what the fuck I'm talking about. You do know. You know. Excuse me. So I wasn't thinking straight at this point in time. I wasn't. And I honestly believe since I was a victim of the directed energy weapons, they're probably trying to, stream me off from going directly home that day, because I would have had that shit uploaded that same day on the main channel. I would have had it uploaded there. So I was still, fixated on just going to get my rent, just going to basically get my rent money to basically pay off the rent. And I had to get it in the form of a money order, so I had to deal with that. So they used that opportunity to basically assault me for the evidence. He didn't get the phone, but he was able to smash up the screen. But you know something? Despite that, this thing actually still can sustain power. It can. I just gotta fix it is all. Once I do that, once I at least do that to where I can turn it on, then I should be able to get the evidence off of it. But man, dude, that shit was wild. That was wild. Now the guy, he didn't hit me. He didn't hit me or anything like that. The only thing he was basically going after was the phone. So I'm like, damn. Now, none of the things of which this guy did, really hurt me or whatever. The only thing that actually did hurt me was the damn concrete, because at the same time, you got to understand, I'm in a weakened state, so this whole shit is way unfair. I ended up working, so this happened after I got off of work. I'm tired as hell. All right, that work that they got you doing there is no joke. That stuff will, especially if it's high paced, a high paced day, it's really gonna wear you down. So you got that happening, and then you got the fact that I'm being beamed with directed energy weapons. This stuff is basically siphoning energy out of my system. So you got that happening. So I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And I had to deal with that shit. Dude, there's no way that shit was fair. It wasn't. It was not fair at all, man. None of it was. So the only thing, I ended up actually getting the only person who actually got some licks in that fight was actually me. I hit the guy at least 2 times. I was able to at least, try to shove him off. Then I even gave him a headbutt or whatever. I did my best to fight. I did. It wasn't easy. But the minute I did the headbutt, the minute I started fighting back, that's when the guy basically, he used that opportunity to try to, go up. He crunched the phone, trying to bend it, make sure, it's unreadable. I can't get the evidence off of it. And then he takes off. People, this car, the black car that he ran over to, was parked in front of this apartment complex. It was parked in front, and they drove straight through the damn lot and stopped. They just started driving right through the lot. I don't fucking believe anybody who manages security systems or who's in charge of a building when they say, no, we don't see this happening on the camera. I don't fucking believe you, because I know they have hidden cameras. They do. They just don't tell you that. And I know this for a fact because this is what happened at my other job. Not an assault, no. But it damn near there were damn near instances that did lead to an assault. But it was covert assaults. It was. And, I really had the most highest protection those days. I really got to admit. I don't know how I got through all of that, but I did. I knew the job was a means to an end, but I stayed strong and I stuck with it as long as I could. But I knew that that crap, it just wasn't worth it, man. Not that. And you see, this is what the system does. It gets you addicted. It gets you so addicted to its structure, way of life. Like, you got to do this. You got to work a job just to earn a living. You don't have to work for the fucking system just to live, damn it. You can actually go off the system, leave the grid, and actually still live. Live off the land. You can do that and be free from this 9-to-5 bullshit. Sitting there telling people, get a job, when they actually have it. When they actually hire people to basically do that. Then you got some of the parents going off, oh, well, like, you smart? Well, you trying to be smart? The fuck would I have to be? I mean, that's the end goal when you go to school, isn't it? Is it not? Unless you're telling me something I don't know, that technically going to school doesn't make you smart, which in reality it doesn't. If for people who don't know, I'm sorry to break this to you, but those degrees you worked for, all that shit that you've been basically going to school for, man, it's just a huge fucking psyop. There may be some instances of information in there that is factual and it is beneficial, but the majority of that information, it's all throughout the textbooks, all throughout the school systems, all that shit, man, it's all misinformation. All of it. Damn near all of it. And that's the reality that we're living in, is that our reality has been twisted in a way and camouflaged to where we wouldn't have known it unless they, until they showed their hand. And now they showed their hand. Now we see, the reality of things that's happening. And now we can actually, know for a fact that there's some deceptive bullshit going on. Without a doubt. People who didn't believe the truthers, well, what do you think happened to all those people who kept trying to warn you? All those people who are whistleblowers, all those people who are other fellow TIs telling people this shit is happening. So many people have died, man, trying to literally tell people this is what's happening. Nobody to believe anybody. Nobody believed T.I.'s. Everybody just laughed it off. Just basically made fun of it. That was another fucking psyop that people bought. People bought into that shit, man. And now we're in a situation to where it ain't just coming after us. They're coming after everybody. Yeah, they're going after everybody with this bullshit. Everybody. You, your family, your wife and kids, your parents, everyone. We're past the point in basically of this bullshit of, these assholes trying to debunk everything. Now we're at the point to where you need to really just start doing, when you see some shit, you need to start doing your fucking research. All right? I don't know what else to tell you, because if you don't do your research, you're either, misinformed, and you're just, you're just hyped on that whole psyop that they use to discredit truthers and TIs alike. And I would give you the benefit of doubt that you may just be misinformed, or you're part of the problem and you're actually influencing that, and you're paid off to do it. So at this point in time, it's either going to be one or the other. So you might want to be careful when you try to discredit a TI. You might want to be careful. You may want to start looking into the stuff a bit more, because you may not know that what you're seeing may most likely come after you someday. You may not know. And considering the situation, it is coming after everybody. I'm not trying to incite fear of any kind. I'm just trying to incite awareness, nothing more. Now, I don't want to ramble on for any longer, so I'm going to go ahead and play the remainder of the video.
Get him away from me! He knocked me to the ground. No, ambulancia, por favor, ambulancia. Ambulancia.
I want to tell them about the whole infrared camera thing, how you can actually get video evidence of the stuff being shot into the room. But let me show you. His cameras are turned off.
2,000, 3,000, 4,000 shows here. Pretty normal. It pass, okay? I mean, a little lower. The results in the right and left have to be above this line. So they say pass. Now we go to the high pitch ones, which has the 4,000 and 6,000 in both ears. It says refer, which means that there is no emissions in the 4,000 and 6,000 hertz.
So I can't pick up anything in the 4,000 and 6,000? Very little?
Very little. Very little.
Because of the damage to the...
And you have it here too. This one is a little lower in the 4,000. It's worse in the 6 than in the 4.
Okay.
Okay? The rest are the lower frequency.
Is that why I can't hear S certain syllables?
Yeah, it could be. It could be some of the distortion that you have is because of that. Because
damage to the ears.
Yeah.
Is this consistent with being attacked with a high-pitched screeching sound? Sustained attack, long-term attack?
If you are exposed to a high-frequency sound, it's going to damage.
Yeah.
It's a loud, high frequencies. Of course, that's the part that's going to get damaged.
Which part?
The high frequency.
Which part?
Would be
right there.
4 and
Okay.
then 6,000.
Okay.
The same, left 4 and 6,000.
Okay. I'm going to show this to my attorney just so he knows.
Okay.
All right.
So, I can't remember your test because, let me tell you, I finished one test and I go to...
Is that street theater out in China or Korea? No, not Korea, but maybe not Korea, but I hope that ain't Japan. I could be wrong, but damn, it is bad out there. I ended up getting a warning, and for fellow TIs thinking about going to Mexico, don't go there because it is 10 times worse there than anywhere else. You may think it's worse where you're at. I'm telling you, it is much worse in Mexico. Way, way worse. Okay. Okay. On another situation. Honestly, I'm gonna just let this play through. Because that I was not expecting to see this. This is deliberately. This is just too far obvious here. Damn.
Oi, なんだお前。おい。
Sorry about that. I can't believe he caught this damn footage. This dude is a damn. He caught it as they were doing it. It's just like the same situation with that couple who bought that one house. I don't know if a lot of you have known about that or heard about it. It was this couple who basically bought a house, and turns out the fire chief, he ended up initiating a freaking what was that? He initiated a whoring campaign of harassment to this couple. And he did an interview with the news, and he just made the shit too obvious. T.I. saw through that crap right away. All of it. That was 2017. Second of the 21st. Man, this guy is going through a lot, man. That's a shattered window.
Amazon Saga!
There's his YouTube channel right there. Shudan Stalker right there. Definitely check that YouTube channel out. I knew there were TIs out there going through way worse harassment, but I didn't know it got that damn bad. Man. Unbelievable. This is, oh.
Imagine prisoners that have spent their entire lives chained deep inside a cave. They have been chained so that they cannot see behind themselves, and they are forced to stare endlessly at the cave wall in front of them. Behind them, a fire is burning, and between the prisoners and the fire is a raised walkway. Now imagine that each day, a menagerie of objects crosses the walkway. Animals, and people carrying their wares to market. Their shapes create an intricate shadow play on the wall in front of the prisoners. This is the only world that the prisoners have ever known. The shadows and the echoes of unseen objects. Now, imagine that the prisoner is released. After some time adjusting to the blinding light, the freed prisoner will begin to experience the world outside of the cave for the very first time. And it is like nothing he could have ever imagined. Perception of the world, the man will of course want to return to his friends to share his incredible discoveries. But the prisoners cannot recognize their old friend. He appears as all things do. His voice is a distorted echo, and his body is a grotesque shadow. They cannot understand his fantastic stories of the world outside of the cave. To them, it will never exist. This, of course, does not make the world outside of the cave any less real.
Nope, not playing that. Piss off, Beast Media. Oh, man. I did not expect that. Man, that shoe guy, he is, damn. That is, man, I've seen bad stalking that's been happening, but I've never seen it that damn bad. Man. I remember a fellow TI, he said he actually had to shoot a guy off his roof once. And it wasn't with a real gun, but it was with a BB gun, like a pellet gun or a paintball gun. Something non-lethal, to basically get the asshole off the roof. People, they were basically trying to install some shit on his roof, most likely a transceiver. He should have got it from him, though. Should have got it out of his hands, take that shit, and show it as evidence of what that guy was trying to do. Just record the whole thing, show what he was trying to install, and then that would have been that. But of course, there's a lot of money involved with this messed up system, and now we got into the point where, at first I was all for going, straight to the court system, but dude, after what I've started to see what the Shadowgate was capable of, this is something that people need to be aware of. The only way we're going to make a difference is if the real people who are being deceived know. That's the only way we're going to be able to make a difference from this. That is the only way we're going to be able to stop this. That's the only way. Trying to take it to court, I mean, they're just gonna run an operation on that, man. I really don't like it that they would end up like that way. But I gotta just say it for what it is. Being able to catch the evidence and get the evidence, that is good. That is really good. Being able to find out and show people this shit is happening, show people this stuff, what's being shot in their homes, what's happening out in the open, that is really good, because that is stuff we can show the people to convince them what's really going on to really make a difference. That's what we need to do. You think, counting on the court systems and stuff, there are some people within this, within the court system who are possibly trying to fight for us. I'm not saying that there aren't people in government, in law enforcement, or in any of these factions that may not be trying to help us. There probably are. There definitely probably are. There probably are some people who used to work for for organizations like that who are also TIs as well. Most likely. A lot of us are victims of circumstances on this. When they decide to target you, they target you. That's just how it is. But that gives us more than enough reason to put a stop to this for good. So nobody has to deal with this. People, if we do not stop this destructive organization, they're going to go after the next generation, which they already are doing. We cannot let that happen. We can't let that happen. It's up to the generation. It's always up to the previous generation, to give the next generation guidance, to basically give them that strength, so that they can fight for the generation ahead of, that comes after them. That's how it's supposed to go. Anyway, everybody, as you see, his name, his channel's name is Brian2. You can just go ahead and type that in. I'll also leave a link in the description for this video so you can get there as well. As always, stay safe, stay strong.